Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Think about the version of yourself, the one you show to the world, the way you speak, the things you care about, the opinions you hold. Now ask yourself this: when did you actually choose any of it? Because most people didn't. They were shaped by parents who needed them to be responsible, by friend groups that rewarded confidence, by cultures that taught them success had to look a certain way. And somewhere along the way, you stopped being a person and became a performance. Psychologists call this the false self. And it's not dramatic. It's not some evil version of you hiding in the shadows. It's quieter than that. It's the smile you put on before you've even checked how you actually feel. It's saying, "I'm fine," automatically, before anyone even asks. It's saying yes to things that drain you, because the version of you people expect would never say no. And here's what nobody tells you. The false self is not weakness. It's survival. At some point in your life, being yourself stopped feeling safe. Maybe you were emotional and got told to toughen up. Maybe you dreamed too big and got told to be realistic. Maybe you were simply different, and you learned very quickly that different gets punished. So you adapted. You built a version of yourself that fit in, a version that was accepted, approved of, safe. And for a while, it worked. But here's the part nobody talks about. When you wear a mask long enough, you forget what your real face looks like. You begin making decisions based on who you're supposed to be. You stay in relationships because the identity people know would never leave. You stay in careers that slowly suffocate you because the version of you that exists in the world doesn't allow for failure, or change, or starting over. And the most painful part? You stop recognizing it as a prison. It just starts feeling like life. The exhaustion you carry, that's not just stress. That's the energy required to maintain a self that was never truly you. The loneliness you feel, even when surrounded by people who love you, comes from the same place. Because they love the version of you that appeared, not the one hiding underneath. And somewhere deep down, you already know that. That's why compliments sometimes feel empty, why achievements don't land the way you thought they would, why reaching goals still leaves a strange, hollow feeling inside you. Because some part of you understands something terrifying. They're celebrating a character, not you. So what do you do with this? Do you destroy the false self? Burn your life down? Disappear and start over? No. You get curious about it. That's where healing begins. The next time you feel anger, anxiety, or the sudden need to impress someone, pause for a second and ask yourself, is this actually me? Or is this the role I learned to play? The next time you say yes, when every part of you means no, notice it. You don't even have to change it yet. Just notice it. Because awareness is how the real self begins breathing again. Not through some dramatic awakening, not overnight, but through small moments of honesty, tiny acts of truth, moments where you stop performing and allow yourself to simply exist. Maybe it's admitting you're uncertain instead of pretending you have everything together. Maybe it's expressing something real instead of something acceptable. Maybe it's letting someone see you without the armor. Because the real self was never meant to be impressive. It was only meant to be honest. And I know that sounds terrifying, because you've spent years
maybe decades, building an identity that protects you, that keeps you safe, that earns love, that avoids rejection. But eventually, you realize something painful. The same identity that protected you is now the thing keeping you away from the life that actually belongs to you. So I want to leave you with one question, and I don't want you to scroll past it. I want you to actually sit with it. What's one thing you genuinely want that the identity you've built doesn't allow? You don't have to explain it. You don't have to justify it. Just name it. Because sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is allow even one real thing to be seen. And maybe that's where your real life begins.